All starts with this. 2 hands, putting it to work. The thing that has worked for me is to remember the hard times. And I just remind myself, all right, I was evicted when I was 14. We were kicked off the island, we couldn't live in Hawaii, had no place to live.
It's also a lot easier to let go of something when you're deciding to let go of it, because you've decided yourself that you're done with that. It's a weak part of you. It needs to disappear.
People can live with themselves. That's the first thing. A lot of people can live with themselves, look in the mirror and say, I'm okay with being afraid. You know, a lot of us are going through a hard time in life. Some people have been bullied, some people are just stressed out, some people are insecure, some people are fat and overweight.
I leave home like you guys left home. I'm ready to tackle the world, get after it, achieve my dreams and goals. Crushed by 22, 23 years old. Now I gotta move back in with my mom and dad.
A lot of what people regard as their own personalities and are proud of about their own personalities aren't their own personalities at all. They're useless idiosyncrasies that differentiate them trivially from other people.
You have to first be uncomfortable with how you feel about yourself. With that voice that a lot of us like to run away from, we all have it.
And if I could be who I needed to be, what would that look like? Self-deception and arrogance. To be proud of your insufficiency, that's a very foolish thing. And that means to cling to the parts of you that are dead.
We first have to face the real you, who knows I'm weak, who knows I'm afraid, who says, whatever you think about me, take it, whatever, I'm here.
At some point, you gotta be tired of not being number one.
You have to accept what you're not. You have to, and people don't want to do that. That's the only way you can fix it. You have to accept it first before you can go on the journey.
As you elevate your aim, you create a judge at the same time. The new ideal, which is an ideal you, becomes a judge because it's above you, right? And then you're terrified of it, maybe.
Who they want to be, they act like they are, but they're not because they haven't fixed all this stuff yet. You got to fix this first before we can start our journey in life.
Get rid of everything about yourself that isn't perfect.
There's nothing you can't accomplish.
The other end of suffering is a world that very few have ever seen.
The judge that you're creating by formulating the ideal tells you what's useless about yourself, and then you can dispense with it.
People are writing you off. It should drive you. It should. It works for me. It should drive you.
You're setting the example every single day of your life. You may retire, but you ain't never coming back home, man. Now you're judged.
Embrace the darkness, and you have to embrace the rage.
Every single person that you look up to, your favorite person in the entire world, is a failure. Has been, at one point or another, a failure.
Dissatisfaction it's an innate part of our psychology. There's no amount of money or success or love that you're ever going to achieve where you're like, cool, I'm done. I got it.
The moment you realize the next step isn't going to kill you, and that next step is the first step to evolving, changing, growing, and learning, and becoming literally the best version of yourself, that's the most beautiful thing.
You gotta have a reason why, and most people who succeed ultimately have a strong reason why. I look at rage and darkness as a supercharger. I have a reason why, and the supercharger on top of that engine is my rage and darkness.
So many people in life, through no fault of their own, have a bar set for themselves, a glass ceiling set for themselves that they don't even know is there.
I think more people ought to put themselves in positions where they deal with adversity and challenges so that they can develop some sense of anger and darkness and rage.
The more we struggle with meaning or purpose in our lives, the more hope we look for to kind of compensate for that.
You almost have to take the huge goal and shelf it. Don't forget about it, but shelf it and now focus on everything that's small to get there.
I think we focus so much on trying to be perfect, when really we just need to be successful. Even if you failed, that failure was an event. It's not who you are. It's not a person.
We're surrounded today by people being satisfied with mediocre. As soon as I realized that I could believe in myself, that it opened up a lot of the doors.
It's not bulletproof, but this armor that we have around us, and that armor has chinks in it. We all have our own insecurities, our own fears, our own limited beliefs, and our own limited mindset. We are imperfect humans with these doubts and these cracks in what you see. And you do that by one chapter in a book, or one video, or one minute or 5 minutes of visualization and seeing yourself winning.
Put yourself in a position where you're going to thrive, not where it's going to become. But society, parents, whoever have set the standard for you to not play it safe, take risks. What if you lose? What if you lose? Who cares? As long as you don't die, you can come right back.
I said, what do you want? What's your passion? What are you trying to accomplish? You can't formulate a plan and figure out the steps unless you know where you're trying to go. How can you go somewhere if you don't know where you're trying to go?
And so the fighter jet mentality is that someone who is just determined, relentlessly obsessed in achieving an outcome in the face of all adversity.
So failure is an event, not a person. Every single person that we've looked up to has gone from failure to the next failure to finally triumph.
Have to move to start feeling something. And if you move and start feeling something, you're on your way to the best version of yourself.
We're so afraid of being vulnerable. We're terrified of being honest. We're so used to being judged and being held to a standard that society sets for us that we don't give ourselves permission to even ask these questions, let alone answer them.
Decide what you need to do and act.
The foundation of all strength is pain.
Embrace pain. Pain is something to embrace. If there's no resistance to you, you're not going to get anywhere in life.
The purpose of a goal is not getting it anyway. The purpose of a goal, who you become. Who you become is going to make you happier. It's going to make you sad.
Because some people think when you lose a dream or you lose something, that it's over. But you didn't lose who you are. You lost that thing, that placement. Life might not be adding up to what you wanted to add up to, but at least you have every single day is a new beginning. Every day is a new beginning. And certain days aren't gonna look like you want them to look, but at least you have another chance. Like 150,000 people die every day. It's 55 million people a year. If you're looking for a blessing, realize that's your blessing. You have another opportunity in life. The only way you're gonna get strength in your life is if you go through that hard moment, that tough moment. Realize this, just because it's a chapter, it doesn't mean it's your whole story.
Most people think the things that are temporary are the permanent things. The temporary passing, I'm going through a breakup. You don't understand that in a month you're gonna be okay. When you're in a low, when you're feeling bad, you think that thing you're feeling is how you're gonna feel forever, which is what makes it feel worse. All of your emotions are temporary. They're passing things. So most of our pain comes from believing, I believe, that we should keep holding on to these things that are really heavy in our lives.
We're constantly looking at life. What is it? What is it? Where are we? Look how interesting. Look at different cultures, different beliefs. How do they come to that? How do I feel about that? What do I think? It is a daily adventure. You have your voice. It's there. Just do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Create.